Hey y'all, I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop. Today we're taking a look at the woodworking magic wand. This is the Stanley number 41Y, and Y stands for Yankee driver. A Yankee driver is basically a screwdriver, except the shaft has grooves inside, so as it's pushed forward, it rotates to drive the bit or driver. They come in all different shapes and styles and sizes and colors and types. But this one's special. A lot of them you'll actually see the fluting on the side that shows you the rotation. But in this one, all the fluting is inside, so it's protected. Also, this one only rotates in one direction. Some of them will have cross fluting going in different directions, so you can do it right hand or left hand. But this one only rotates right hand. When I first got into hand tool woodworking, I actually bought a bunch of these, different styles and types, and I thought, oh great, I'm gonna use these because a lot of people love them. And I found that I never, ever used them. Especially the ones with driving bits for flat blade or Phillips or whatever shape you wanted. I just don't use screws much, and most of the time I'm going to do it a different way. I don't use these for driving bits very much. However, this one I use all the time because this one is not for driving bits. It only rotates right hand because it's only intended to drill holes. And if you know anything about me, you know I love boring tools. One of the problems with brace and bit is they're designed to run auger bits, and you can't really find auger bits that go smaller than a 1/4 inch. Under a 1/4 inch, and you wouldn't be able to get a file in there to sharpen it, so generally 1/4 inch is the smallest you're going to find. You will occasionally come across these that will go down to about 1/8 of an inch, and yes, this one actually does have a tapered bit on the end. But in general, anything smaller than a 1/4 inch and a brace really has a lot of problems with it. Most of the time, the answer is going to be go get an egg beater drill bit, and this has a 3-jaw chuck, and you can put whatever size bit in there you want, and you can go all the way down to the tiniest little thing you might want to use. The problem with these is they are very unsteady. As you're turning the crank, you're actually putting forces that are going back and forth on it. And if you're working with a really small, delicate bit, this is going to cause a lot of problems if you're not really good and strong on it. And if there's any amount of wiggle in it, you're probably going to end up breaking a couple bits over time. And that's where this thing comes in. This one is designed to drill holes, not to drive screws. In the back here, there's a collar you can rotate, and this will allow the cartridge to open up. In here, we have all of the drill bits. These drill bits are all straight flute drill bits, so rather than having the spiral bit, these actually just cut straight. This can produce a very clean hole. And you can get them down into tiny little sizes like this 32nd of an inch, down to 1 millimeter or so. Once you've selected your bit, you slide the case back up in here, lock it back down. Then on the chuck end, you can slide the collet forward, rotate this in until it locks, and then you put it back. Now your bit is locked in and ready to go. It is that simple, and all the bits are stored in the handle. Then with a designated spot to drill your hole, you can put the bit in it and go to town. Just push it down, and it will run right through. If you're going through something relatively thick, occasionally you're going to have to back it out, clean out the hole, and put it back in because the straight flutes don't clean out quite as easily. Boop, just like that. We're all the way through. And it gives you a really nice, clean, tiny little hole. The nice thing about them is all of your forces straight down into the hole. You know, you do have to be careful not to wobble around, but it is relatively easy once you get going at it, and you can drill a delicate little hole with a very clean and accurate shape. And one of the best parts is when you're done, you pull the bit out, you open up the back, you put it away, and you immediately have all of your bits stored and ready for the next time. So you're not losing bits and trying to have another case to hold them all in. The whole thing is here. So all of the holes I need to drill that are smaller than my standard auger bits can be in this one small device. One downside is it is a little bit slower because of the straight flutes. They do take a little more time. But this is going to take me 30 seconds to drill that hole, whereas this one would have taken me 10 seconds to drill the hole. But I would have spent far more than 20 seconds to try and find the right bit because the bits are in another storage and I'd have to get those out and I'd have to put them all away, and then sure shooting I'm going to lose one. Whereas this, it's all right here. It doesn't take me any time to find the right bit because they're all right there. If I'm drilling delicate little tiny holes, this is the tool I'm going to grab. This works okay, and if I'm going to be drilling a bunch of holes and I don't really care about them being exact or right on, then this will go much faster. But if I only need 1 or 2 and they're small, delicate little things, then this is what I'm going to grab. And one of the interesting parts about the Y41 is it's never stopped being made. They still make these, and there are several companies that make identical pizzas, and they all use the exact same bits, and so you can still buy the exact same bits. If you do happen to break one, or you need a really weird odd size that isn't in yours, you can go buy the bits and have more in here. These usually came with 2 empty slots, so you can put more in over time. And if you do find yourself using a lot of hardware, then sometimes getting the larger brother with the Yankee drivers can be really beneficial. And every now and then I need to drill an intricate, nice, detailed hole in something delicate, and this is the tool I'm going to grab for it. And there's a reason why they're still in production, because it's a great tool to have. Is it necessary? No. You can do it all with an egg beater drill or just a standard electric drill. But for me, this is kind of fun. And boy, I tell you what, the kids love to drill holes with this. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever used a Y41 or some of the other Yankee drivers? Are they fun for you, or are they something that, yeah, you'd rather leave alone? It's kind of one of those things where if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. But different strokes for different folks. If you have any comments, thoughts, snide remarks, ideas, or just want to say comment down below, then throw that down below. Thank you. That helps us out. Anytime you do put comment down below, it gets us in front of more people, helps the channel grow, and it helps that all-powerful algorithm. That means more than I can say. As well as if you want to go even farther, there's a thank you button down there, or you could join one of these fantastic, wonderful people over here. Those are all patrons on Patreon. And between patrons, people who click the join button and the thank you button, you guys keep the channel going. Because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Thank you. That means more than I can say. And I think that'll do it for now. Until next time, have a wonderful day. The Y41 is relatively enjoyable to use, which makes it an oxymoron because it is fun boring.